Hey, what's up? This is Andrew WK here. Denim and denim jeans in particular are one of the most important Western cultural fashion icons going. Originally created by Levi's as a purely workwear garment at the end of the 19th century, you go forward a little bit into the 1950s, maybe 1960s, and they're suddenly becoming more perceived as a cool, rebellious garment for casual wear. And although that image has certainly changed, they're still very much in the hearts and minds of your average fashion consumer. And that's evident by the fact that you can go anywhere from your bargain basement high street retailer all the way up to your exclusive luxury fashion place. All of those places and everywhere in between will have their own denim jean product. But is it time for a change? 2020, new year, new me, branch out, do some new stuff, and where better to start than with your choice of pants? I personally don't own any jeans anymore, and I'm going to present to you 5 reasons why you might want to consider cutting off your denim addiction. Firstly, as I mentioned in the introduction, jeans are pretty much everywhere, and that means they're worn by pretty much everyone. Your mum wears them, your teacher wears them, your dog wears them, and he'd wear them like this. Now that's not inherently a bad thing. You don't have to be a special snowflake 100% of the time and wear wacky stuff that no one else would bother with, but the fact remains that if you wear a pair of denim jeans, particularly those skinny or slim cuts that are relatively standard and ubiquitous these days, they don't really make the same youthful, rebellious statement that they once did. If you only wear jeans, therefore, as many people do, including myself when I was growing up, then you're really relying on the rest of your outfit to do the talking. That's fine, of course, if you're just into a relatively casual day-to-day style, your streetwear basic starter pack, for example. Or if you're into your sneaker-focused fashion, where you have a relatively plain or a color-blocked outfit, but then you're really relying on some really loud or really rare, cool sneakers to get everyone's attention, then that works pretty fine. But the fact that so many people use jeans as their go-to means that it's not going to get you that many arbitrary style points, nor does it make a particular statement of self-expression. Of course, there are exceptions to that rule in that jeans come in all kinds of different cuts and colors and finishes and stuff, so there are some very unique, very different things out there, but 99% of the options are pretty middle of the road and they stay with those skinny or those slim cuts. And that ties in very nicely to reason number 2. They're extremely easy to wear and extremely easy to style with lots of different things, particularly because there are so many different styles available within the jean. But nonetheless, if you're only going to wear jeans, then there is still some kind of restriction towards certain directions and certain styles. So from my own experience, most of the stuff back there and a lot of my wardrobe doesn't really look that great with jeans because generally it has a bit of a futuristic edge. Jeans are very much a kind of heritage Americana, more traditional garment. The two things don't always mesh that well together. The same applies to any real performance gear, and in fact even athleisure stuff, clothing which is designed for physical activities. There is again a little bit of a disparity there. Jeans just aren't running gear after all, so broadening your horizons past jeans definitely unlocks the ability to wear or to get the most from different styles of clothing. And again, there's an element of self-expression here. The idea of jeans not suiting certain types of clothing is not just down to its look, but to its material performance as well. The main really big benefit of denim is that it's hard wearing, and that was the real benefit of its initial use back when it was worn by miners and labourers in the late 19th and early 20th century. And today that's still a great benefit. Everyone wants something that they can come to rely on, particularly something like jeans where you plan on wearing them day in, day out. You don't want them to fall apart at the first signs of wear or get damaged super easily. And in fact, the worn appearance of jeans after a certain period of time is another great benefit of them. But the other material characteristics of denim are not really anything to write home about. They have some breathability, but it's not particularly good. They're not particularly lightweight. If not made with elastane, they don't have any stretch characteristics. And while over time they will soften up and become comfortable, initially on purchase, they are characteristically a little bit crunchy and not super comfortable to wear. The material also performs terribly when wet. It soaks up a massive amount of water, becomes extremely heavy, and then takes ages to dry again. So definitely not suitable for all conditions nor all activities. You don't want to be wearing denim jeans if you're caught out in the rain, or really if you're doing any physical activity bar very light exercise. And you certainly don't want your clothing dictating where you should be going and what you should be doing while you're there. If you're really into this stuff though, you're not just going to be buying any old rebuild pair of jeans, but you'll have a raw denim selvage pair of jeans. And these are characterized by their fading characteristics. So over a long period of time, these really will bed in, they'll become yours, and they'll get those patterns of wear associated with you specifically. So this creates over time this really nice bond between the wearer and the product itself. And that's definitely something to be encouraged. I really like the idea of buying one thing and really making it yours rather than kind of rampant over consumerism and just buying more and more trousers all the time. I also think it helps solve the problem of looking like everyone else, because a worn-in pair of raw denim jeans really do gain a unique look and a personality all of their own. However, it does actually exacerbate some of the other issues of denim. That breaking in period with raw denim can be even worse. That initial wear period, really not particularly comfortable. And because that fading and that breaking in process is better, the more you wear your denim, the more you might feel like you're trapped to exclusively wear those one pair of jeans and never bother with anything else. Not ideal from a versatility perspective, but raw denim presents its own specific challenge too, and that is with the colour bleeding, because the raw denim dye can leach onto other things, be that things that you're sitting on or other things that you're wearing, and there's certainly nothing worse than your favourite pair of trousers ruining your favourite pair of shoes because of the dye getting all over them. That's a noted problem to the extent that raw denim fans will often duct tape the inside of their jeans to help prevent that bleeding process onto their shoes. But it is really easy for those colours to transfer, so it's definitely something to be aware of, and definitely a downside of potentially wearing this stuff. And finally, again looking at technical performance, jeans present limited additional functionality or variation in functionality. Pretty much every pair of jeans will have a 4 or 5 pocket design, it'll have a zip fly, and that's pretty much it. Maybe you'll have rivets there to help reinforce stuff, but that's all you're getting. So all of that other fun stuff, like adjustable cuffs, like phone pockets, cargo pockets, draw cords, elastication, they're all outside the scope really of what denim can realistically provide. So if you restrict yourself to just wearing jeans 24/7, you're missing out on all that potential fun stuff. So denim certainly has its strengths, but if you exclusively wear it, it definitely does have some glaring weaknesses too. And this is probably the part in the video where you expect me to hold up another pair of pants and say, you should all buy these instead because they'll solve all the problems of denim. That would be the very neat YouTube ending, but unfortunately, life just ain't that simple. Let me give you an example. A great first step away from exclusively wearing denim would be something like the Outlier Strong Dungarees. Actually, I've got a pair of those somewhere, so I'm going to go find them. Alright, so here they are, and you'll probably notice that these look incredibly similar to a regular pair of denim jeans. They're cut in a fairly similar way. They've got the same kind of pocket design that you'll be used to. They've got nice belt loops as well. Everything's pretty much the same, except these aren't made from denim. They're made from nylon, which makes them lighter weight, which makes them a bit more breathable, makes them stronger as well. And these are also DWR treated. So, you know, you spill anything on these, or you're outside and you get caught in the rain or something, you'll do a lot better in these than you would in denim. So think of them like jeans plus, essentially. And they certainly help solve some of the problems of exclusively wearing denim, but not all of them. You'll notice that, you know, these are very, very subtle with their performance enhancements. So when you're wearing these, as is kind of the point of them, to be honest, you're not really going to look any conceivably different to if you were just wearing a black denim pair of jeans. So things like that help solve material performance problems, but maybe not so much aesthetic ones. So why not wear a nice big pair of cargo pants then? If you've watched these videos a while, then you'll certainly know that that's something that I end up wearing quite a lot. And yeah, they've got great carrying capacity. They certainly look a lot different to jeans, but they can attract attention in maybe a way that you don't really want. And while cargos certainly do allow for different looks compared to denim, if you just wear cargos 100% of the time, you're going to end up being pretty inappropriate for some social situations. No one is going to want you to come to their wedding if you rock in a pair of big baggy cargos. A non-cargo technical pant then might be a good choice. You've got lots of variety in cut, you can have them lightweight, you can have them water resistant, all kinds of different things, but even those are going to point you towards certain directions or certain looks, and let's face it, the best examples of those are often not cheap. So the point of this video is not for me to tell you to stop wearing X and start wearing Y, but really to consider alternatives and to look at the whole pant spectrum. Whenever you're making your choices, you don't just have to resort to the same thing every time because it's versatile or because it's what you're used to wearing or even because it's what most other people wear. It's really about considering alternatives and what is actually going to work the best for you personally, both in terms of the way you want to look, the way you want to present yourself, and the environment that you find yourself in and what kind of activities that you want to do. Those things just aren't set in stone, they change all the time. Sometimes you go out, you want to look a little bit smarter, sometimes you just need to look casual, sometimes you need that performance, sometimes you really don't, and it just doesn't matter. But even if you want to stick to an overall classic look, there's no reason not to experiment with some different materials or some other options that are kind of similar to jeans, but with a little bit of a variation. And you know what? Sometimes denim is the right choice. There is a reason that jeans are so popular after all. Just remember that it's not the only choice. Those are my thoughts on the jeans topic, a material that I've basically never talked about in the 3+ years with this channel, so something a little bit different. But let me know your thoughts on this topic down there in the comments. Are you a raw denim enthusiast? Are you going to be out there every single day getting those sick fades? Or have you ditched them? Are you more a fan of the technical outerwear pants, or maybe you like chinos, or maybe you like tiny little shorts? And if you enjoyed the video, please do give it a like because it's super appreciated. And as always, we will be back next week with another video. Shout out to Zimli and Lethal Failure, both perfect use for the indies. And shout out to my props, the Outlier Strong Dungarees and the Futureworks. Both pretty cool pants, so definitely worth checking out if you're into the kind of low-key but better performance than regular clothing side of things. If you are interested in the Outlier brand, coming up very soon, I'm going to be reviewing the Ecstasy in the Rain jacket, which is their new outerwear option, which is pretty exciting. You might have seen that on Instagram stories already, where I showed off some cool features, but I'll go into some more depth for sure, so that should be a good one. Thanks for making it all the way to the end of the video. If you haven't already binged watched every single video on my channel, and some people have, then you can click the links up there and see some of those. And if you haven't subscribed yet, then you should definitely think about it and then stop thinking about it and just do it. Just hit the button. We can all be friends. We can have a nice little tech wear time. It'll be great.